And we have liftoff. Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Have you had your caffeine today? Right? Shouldn't we have? All right. I want to welcome you to the 5th BU111 live case competition. I want to congratulate everybody, semifinalists and finalists, for making it this far. And I want to tell you that I am incredibly excited about what we're going to get to see today. I apologize for the delay. There were some, the one thing that I've discovered in the 5 years is that I can rely on something going sideways. And so sure enough, we've had a couple of blips in the road, but that's okay. We're here and we're going to roll, and it's all going to go smoothly. We're all set to go now. So I want to welcome our agenda for today. I'm going to introduce our panelists who are going to be our judging our final presentations. Then I'm going to invite the finalist presentation students to come on up and to deliver their presentations. We do have microphones for you, so I'll be asking you to put on your lapel mics so we can all hear you. Don't hesitate to take a second to wave to mom and dad, because we're live streaming at the same time. And so if you haven't already told grandma, grandpa, and whoever else might want to watch you, they absolutely can. Once the presentations are done, we're going to give the judges an opportunity to ruminate on your genius and your talent, and handle the tough decision of figuring out how to rank those finalists. And then we'll come back and invite Jen Carson, one of the stars of this case, to speak to you, to share her thoughts with you, and then we'll announce the ranking, because they're all winners. So I can't say winners. It's just the ranking that we're going to be deciding at that point. Okay? All right. This is where the glasses have to go on. Jennifer Carson, the name may be familiar from the case itself, is the Canada lead of Starbucks Rewards Digital Customer Relationships, Strategic Partnerships and Payments for Starbucks. She leads the planning and execution of complex partnerships, hence why she's listening, between retailers and the financial services sector, with a focus on loyalty and payments. She brings over 18 years of experience to her work, starting with BMO's Media Relations and Public Relations Department, and then BMO's MasterCard Marketing Group. At BMO and later HBC, Jen spearheaded several product launches and was involved in a number of co-branded marketing initiatives. Immediately prior to Starbucks, Jen led Scotiabank's relationship with the popular Scene loyalty program. Jen has managed a number of groundbreaking and award-winning integrated marketing campaigns, including Scotiabank's innovative Summer of Scene day-to-day banking campaign. It was a CMA Awards Silver winner. Scotiabank's on-campus student marketing strategy, the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers Get the Real Story online and mass media campaign, the GE Money Superhero Mortgage Broker campaign, also a winner two-time of CMA Awards Gold winner, and the BMO Air Miles WestJet launch of the tri-branded Mosaic MasterCard. Also a CPRS ACE Awards Gold winner. Welcome, Jen. I've lost Ryan's introduction here. Here he is. Ryan Haggerty, also a familiar face. You would have remembered him from the Q&A when he was here. Ryan is a brand manager, Starbucks Rewards Acquisition and Strategic Partnerships. He's a strategic and analytical digital marketing professional possessing proven leadership, project management, and thought leadership skills in the design, implementation, and management of targeted and mass marketing campaigns. Ryan graduated from Brock in 2010 and then obtained, but we still appreciate him being here. And then went on to obtain his BBA in marketing at the University of South Wales, Australia. He has held positions at a variety of organizations, including ClubLink and MCCI, and before joining Starbucks in 2018, spent 5 years at Scene as marketing manager, member engagement, and senior marketing manager, CRM. Welcome, Ryan. Wendy Arnott may be a familiar face. We keep bringing Wendy back to campus. Wendy is the Vice President of Customer Experience and Innovation at TD Bank Group. She leads customer experience and innovation, is responsible for guiding, enhancing, and delivering on TD's CX vision for delivering legendary customer experiences. As part of this mandate, Wendy's responsible for customer experience strategy, transforming CX measurement and analytics, and identifying consumer trends and innovative opportunities. Previously, Wendy was responsible for building the first social media and digital marketing functions at TD, including launching many firsts in this space. Before joining marketing, Wendy gained 20 years of corporate communications and PR experience, including being VP Corporate and Public Affairs at TD Canada Trust, as well as holding senior communication roles at other leading organizations. Wendy holds a BA Political Science from McMaster. She and her family live in Mississauga, Ontario. Welcome, Wendy. Two names that may also be familiar to you because they were on the semifinal judging panels yesterday. This is what you call dedicated alumni, right? So they're coming back for round two. Nick Lazick. I won't go over Nick's entire introduction since we learned a fair bit about him yesterday, but just a reminder, he graduated, he's one of our own BBAs who was also a TA. He graduated from our program in 2004 and is currently at Bell as he's the head of product and strategy for Bell's new smart home security and automation division. And he gives back to his community. He and a few friends operate the Social Leadership Group of Canada, a not-for-profit that provides management consulting services to not-for-profit charities in the Toronto area. Welcome, Nick. And last but certainly not least, Sean Cameron, who is again one of our own BBA graduates in 2015. He was also a TA. Passionate brand builder. I can only talk a little. I'm just going to say he's an Apple and Starbucks addict, I think would be a fair way to describe him. Information we didn't share yesterday. Also very involved in his community giving back. He was valedictorian for his year. Pretty great accomplishment. And words of wisdom I am going to share. Stay hungry, stay foolish, but most importantly, stay golden. All right. And also you can add spit dip to any sandwich at Wilf's, including the Seagram wrap. All right. So welcome to our panelists. Thank you very much for being willing to give of your time today. The order of presentations. All right. We're going to go by panel. So what I'm going to do, you're all welcome to watch each other's presentations. It's up to you whether that's helpful to you or if you prefer not to. You can certainly wait outside and we'll find you, or maybe ask a friend to be able to signal to you. I'm going to ask Lab BU111, Thomas, Ben, Nathaniel, Amir, and Caitlin to please come up.
Should have the cord.
Turn it on?
Oh. Is it okay if it's in my pocket? Yeah. Okay.
Is it on?
I think so. Should I try? Okay. Oh! Something.
Okay.
There we go. Hello? Hello? Okay. Does it work?
Yeah.
Is this one working?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Good?
I think so. Is this one working?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Test.
Testing.
Testing.
Hello? Testing.
So, should I insert my USB or? Okay.
gonna annoy me.
Need a clicker.
Thank you.
Whether it be landing your dream job in the heart of downtown Toronto,
Or being an investment banker on Wall Street.
These opportunities begin networking over a cup of coffee.
Starbucks Canada believes a coffee house should be a place to find connection.
Throughout this presentation, we will demonstrate how Starbucks can take advantage of the growing networking trend to exceed their loyalty growth targets.
My name is Thomas, and joined by my colleagues Ben, Nathaniel, Caitlin, and Amir, we'll be covering the following agenda with an emphasis on implementation. Following that, we'll be able to answer any questions you may have.
So we thought to ourselves, what company could Starbucks partner with that would provide these valuable connections as well as add value to the existing loyalty program? The answer is through 10,000 Coffees. 10,000 Coffees is a networking platform used by some of Canada's largest businesses, business figures, as well as universities. 10,000 Coffees focuses on providing a unique, personalized, and face-to-face networking experience by setting up networking meetings at local coffee shops. This allows users to go to their local coffee shops, make valuable connections, as well as receive advice that will help further their career. Starbucks would allow 10,000 Coffee users to earn rewards faster by rewarding stars to users who set up their networking meetings at a local Starbucks location. This would entice many consumers to join the loyalty program, as they would be able to expand their network, earn rewards, receive valuable connections and advice, all while enjoying earning rewards at an increased rate. This recommendation satisfies all the criteria for a valuable solution, since the recommendation would increase the number of users on the Starbucks loyalty program, as well as entice existing users to return more often. Secondly, the partnership's brand image as well as core values aligns with Starbucks. And finally, it provides mutual benefits to both Starbucks loyalty members as well as 10,000 Coffee users through our unique loyalty program.
So to start off, a partnership between 10,000 Coffees and Starbucks Canada will increase the usage of the loyalty program. In 2017, 10,000 Coffees made 250,000 coffee connections for over 250 companies in 40 different industries. Large brands use 10,000 Coffees such as PepsiCo, RBC, and United Way. And the employees from these large companies will be suggested nearby Starbucks locations for networking. More than half of frequent networkers in Canada make over $55,000 a year and network up to 10 hours a month in order to grow their personal brand. As these frequent networkers join the 10,000 Coffees program, Starbucks will experience an increase in traffic to their locations. As well, this partnership will increase the number of repeat and loyal customers by offering a personal experience. These personal experiences make customers 3 times more likely to return to a company and 10 times more likely to become loyal to a company because of those experiences. This will increase profitability as return customers spend 67% more than one-time buyers. It can be seen that the large customer base at 10,000 Coffees, paired with the increase in customer retention, will increase profitability at Starbucks locations, therefore meeting our first decision criteria. As well, a partnership between Starbucks and 10,000 Coffees is perfect because of the brand alignment between the two companies. Both companies have a focus on providing a high-quality, unique product for their customers, as well as put an emphasis on creating an environment that encourages human connection and community. This brand alignment will create a mutually beneficial partnership and one that allows the companies to leverage off each other's strengths to achieve common goals.
And finally, this partnership will meet the needs of Starbucks' core millennial target market and provide significant value to both current and prospective Starbucks Rewards members. Our partnership strategy directly aligns with the external environment, both from a social and economic standpoint. 68% of millennials utilize face-to-face networking as a way of growing their personal brand and developing both business and personal connections. Small meetings are also favored by 90% of business people, clearly indicating that this partnership will add mutual value to both Starbucks Rewards members as well as the mentors on the 10,000 Coffees platform. Moreover, 85% of jobs are filled through networking, which speaks to the importance of networking from an economic perspective. By capitalizing on these prevailing networking trends and continuing to anticipate customer needs, this partnership will add substantial value to Starbucks' existing loyalty program and will therefore allow for Starbucks to achieve their desired year-over-year loyalty growth targets.
When Starbucks came to us with this case, they placed an emphasis on implementation. In order for the loyalty program to be successful, they had to be able to reach customers, motivate them to join the loyalty program in order to reach their overarching goal of increasing their market share in the Canadian coffee industry. In order for them to do this, is it essential in the short term for them to decide on the specifications of their loyalty program? This includes how the two companies will integrate and support each other, but more importantly, the specifications on how members will actually earn stars. For example, we believe Starbucks should incentivize the Gold Member Rewards Card through hosting exclusive networking events that only Gold members can attend to allow them to further build out their network and build those connections. As well, in the short term, Starbucks then has to design and then launch their digital marketing campaign. This will attract consumers and drive the sales of the loyalty program when it launches. In the medium term, Starbucks then has to streamline the connection process for users. This means they have to integrate the 10,000 Coffees software into the Starbucks app. As many users already have the Starbucks app, we want to increase consumer reachability and decrease switching costs, making it as easy as possible for them to go for the first coffee chat. This provides the greatest potential benefit for both companies. In the long run, Starbucks has to evaluate the success of their loyalty program and see if it's meeting the decision criteria that it's set out for itself. As well, they have to look to get consumer feedback on possible improvements and then use this valuable consumer data to optimize the loyalty program to better understand and then meet customer needs. As well, they have to continue to innovate, create new specialties and new features to continue to excite customers and ensure they remain engaged and frequent users of the loyalty program. But a large part of this implementation is communicating effectively with consumers through a detailed and strong marketing campaign.
So Starbucks and 10,000 Coffees need to place emphasis on having a genuine approach when interacting with customers. Their marketing plan needs to be based off the millennial mindset and how much millennials value personalized experiences. Also, most importantly, Starbucks must convey the value of this program through a very clear and transparent marketing campaign.
Our promotional strategy consists of a three-part plan. Firstly, Starbucks and 10,000 Coffees must establish a strong social media presence in order to enhance customer awareness about the partnership and its benefits. This would be done not only through social media advertising, but through exclusive offers that would attract a larger pool of customers into the integrated loyalty program. Secondly, an exclusive demo will be launched for current 10,000 Coffee members. This would show our appreciation towards these members by allowing them to try out the loyalty program before the national rollout, therefore increasing the likelihood of them becoming frequent users in the future.
And finally, Starbucks and 10,000 Coffees will launch an event where Starbucks Rewards members can share their positive networking experiences on social media. Of the posts that are shared, the 3 most unique and influential stories will be selected, and the winners will be given Starbucks Rewards, as well as an invitation to an exclusive networking event hosted by Starbucks and 10,000 Coffees. 73% of millennials prefer to hear testimonials and opinions of other consumers before engaging with a new loyalty program. Therefore, through this testimonial-based marketing campaign, both new and existing members will realize the true value that this partnership will bring to them, and will therefore allow for Starbucks to lock in these customers both early and efficiently.
We believe Starbucks should place a large incentive for first-time users of the loyalty program. If they offer a free coffee for first-time users who sign up for the loyalty program while they go for their first coffee chat, we believe this will get customers through the doors and get them engaged with the loyalty program. From a consumer perspective, there are 3 steps to networking. The first step is to find the person you want to network with. The second step is to arrange your meeting at a Starbucks location. And the third step is to go for that coffee chat. We want to communicate this as simple and convenient, but also emphasize to consumers if they follow these 3 steps, they'll be well on their way to building a strong and expansive network. We want consumers to be engaged and remain frequent users with the loyalty program. Through this program, we lock customers in. During their first coffee chat, they have this meaningful personal experience and they make this connection with another individual, but they also gain loyalty stars in the rewards program. Following their meeting, we are convinced customers want to return to Starbucks because they both want to continue to build connections and continue to network to provide opportunities for themselves, but also to gain the maximum possible value out of the loyalty program through using the stars they've accumulated on their first coffee chat. Through this, we're convinced customers remain frequent users, will remain engaged, and continue using the loyalty program.
One important aspect of this partnership that should be monitored is its reachability. We need to make sure that our marketing efforts are actually reaching their targets and enhancing customer awareness. If not, Starbucks should reposition its advertising channels and work with its connections to bring more users onto the 10,000 Coffee platform. For example, Starbucks could work with its connections and integrate them onto Cortado, a service offered by 10,000 Coffees that allows the employees of an organization to network with each other and find opportunities. This would not only be beneficial towards the partnership by bringing more users onto the 10,000 Coffees platform, users which will later translate into more loyalty program members for Starbucks, but it would help the parent company by giving them better employee cohesion. Therefore, through our recommendation, Starbucks can better meet the needs of its millennial target market by giving them tools to build connections, while increasing their loyalty program membership alongside a partner that shares their same values and who wants to create the best experience possible for customers.
Together, with 10,000 Coffees, let's help Starbucks customers turn going for coffee into a part of their daily grind.
One coffee, one conversation, and one connection at a time.
Thank you for your time. The floor is now open for questions.
Hello. Thank you for spending so much time on this case. We really appreciate it. My question for you is, do you think this targets more existing Starbucks Rewards members, or is a tool to attract new Starbucks Rewards members?
Well, we think that this partnership will actually attract, in general, the existing members who like to build connections, but it's also those who are looking to build connections and advance their careers. So this could be people who are not currently on the rewards program, but we just think that this provides so much value that it will entice so many new consumers to join the loyalty program because of the value that it brings.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for a terrific presentation. My question is, as you looked at that integration with the mobile app and all the other aspects of your implementation plan, where do you see the most challenge or risk? What are you sort of thinking as a watch out?
For sure, there's going to be some risks, especially with technology. One of the most important parts is making sure that the technology is functional and make sure it's integrated with customers and it's convenient for them to use. Because if it's difficult and if it's too difficult to go for the first coffee chat, we're going to lose a lot of consumers that way. So that's a large risk with the technology not being compatible, or there being like high knowledge switching costs to go from using the Starbucks app regularly to then setting coffee chats up on it. So we want to make sure this is simpler for consumers to do, but also emphasize that it's something that's valuable enough for them to take that risk and to put in the effort and time. But other risks would include just making sure that consumers are reached and make sure they are aware of the value, as networking might not be something that they immediately are enticed to do or excited to originally. We want to make sure we get these consumers through the door through like the incentives that we've talked about and make sure that they can realize the value networking can provide to them, the kind of doors it can open and the kind of opportunities it can provide, and then correlate those positive experiences with the Starbucks location to have them really attached to the brand and feel aligned as a Starbucks customer.
Thank you very much. That was an amazing presentation. In fact, 10,000 Coffees is actually a company that we've actually been thinking about partnering with and taking a look and meeting with, so very well done. I actually know the president who owns the company from a previous life. My question is, of the companies that they're partnering with currently, you mentioned PepsiCo and some of the other companies, is there anything that you think from a longer term perspective that this could actually enable Starbucks from their partnerships as opposed to just through 10,000 Coffees?
Sorry, just to clarify, when you say enable long-term for Starbucks through their partnerships, do you mean Starbucks partnerships?
Yeah, would there, to clarify, would there be maybe 2 or 3 companies that they are already partnering with that you think that Starbucks could have a longer or potential for partnership with?
Okay, so they're partnered with a lot of companies. They're partnered with Facebook on the Facebook Workplace. So they have access to over 30,000 companies there. And as we mentioned, there's RBC. But Starbucks, one thing that they could do is that 10,000 Coffees is connected to a lot of universities, like even Laurier, Waterloo, all those universities, the major universities in Canada. They have different communities that are connected to the 10,000 Coffees. So perhaps in the future, Starbucks can not only target the normal users that are on 10,000 Coffees, they could target the users that are in those specific communities and offer specifically target those university students through whatever rewards you may see fit, and get some sort of a gain out of that.
Great, thank you.
Good answer. Nicely done, guys. That was very well thought through, and I really like that ending. That was good. My question, you were actually just touching on it a little bit, but could you maybe talk to me a little bit about their reach, 10,000 Coffees, and what platforms they could use to help enable a further reach for Starbucks?
Yeah, so 10,000 Coffees, the really big partnership they just had is with Facebook. So it's the 30,000. They have the availability to the 30,000 companies using Workplace. But as well, they really do have a lot of mentors on the program. So a lot of mentors using the 10,000 Coffees program. And so it's really being backed by these high up like CEOs, executives who really are supportive of it. And we believe that these CEOs wouldn't be wasting their time if they didn't think this was a really valuable thing. So they can gain that reach through all these mentors that are using it, who then are going to attract these customers. These customers see like, wow, I have this opportunity to network with this high up CEO. Like that's an incredible opportunity. So 100% these university students who are trying to get those jobs, they're going to be joining 10,000 Coffees. And I mean, a lot of these people with the millennial mindset, that's Starbucks' target market. So in turn, they're going to come to Starbucks because they see the gain out of both companies.
Great, thank you.
Guys, First of all, thanks very much for the presentation. I know the hours that you've put into this was amazing, and I think it paid off, so thank you for that. My question is actually about your exclusive demo part. So can you help me understand what sort of, what drivers you have into that demo? What are you looking to get out of it? How big is it going to be? And what would you do with the feedback that you get from that demo?
Yeah, so as my colleague Thomas mentioned, we want to make sure that the integration between the two software systems of Starbucks and 10,000 Coffees is as smooth as possible so people aren't turned off by a large learning curve. Therefore, through the demo, we can already secure the existing customers or the existing users of 10,000 Coffees by showing them how easy it can be to earn rewards for something they're already doing. They're already setting out coffee chats, so you can earn rewards for that. So by allowing them to see the extra value they can get from what they're already doing every day and showing them that it's easy, we can make sure we lock down those customers, and that demo would be something simple on the website that we could put maybe a video of just showing how the software would work, and it would just entice those customers further.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Good shit, guys.
They got it, and when did we do our Q&A? That was when they got the case. They only started work. When did we? Remember when we did the Q&A? Fall had launched. I know that.
Oh, yeah. Must have been 2 weeks in or something.
It was like 2 or 3 weeks in. Yeah, it was like late September. Yeah. But they had other assignments. They've really only been working on it for probably a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like September. I just remember doing that Q&A session for ours was in 111. It's just a total of 12.
Oh yeah.
The Q&A in 111. But they had some awesome projects.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Problem with some of them. No, it's okay. Just talk to me. Bring your bubbly personality and all that.
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
well, we can't talk.
no, you can't, but
At the time.
I know where to click on it.
Just like Milwaukee at work.
Try to put it up on the middle of your shirt.
Yeah.
Great, is that good?
No idea. Okay, guys, make sure you change it to mute right after.
Okay.
Hello?
Which one was the quieter one?
I have the call have the battle.
There you go. Thank you.
Test. Test.
Hello?
Testing.
Did you say test into it?
Test. Test. Test.
Hello? 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 No. God. Hello? Hello? 1 second.
Testing. Testing.
Oh, this is annoying. Hello? Hello? Perfect. It's plugged in. Plug this in. Where's the thing for this?
It's fine. Let's just use one.
We have another one, but we can't. I don't get to. Or the other one. Alright, whatever. It's okay. Perfect.
Good afternoon, judges, TAs,
alumni, Professor Sophie, and ladies and gentlemen in the audience. We'd like to thank you all for coming here today to hear about our most beloved and our favorite coffee shop, Starbucks. Now you might be wondering, who are these first-year kids? What do they know about Starbucks? Well, let me assure you, not only are my team and I extremely knowledgeable about Starbucks, we're also extremely dedicated consumers, as we represent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 gold-level reward members. Now, my name's Umar, and anyone that knows me knows that I need my Grande Blonde to start my mornings off, and today was definitely not an exception. To my right over here, we have Rebecca, who would much rather be sipping on a peppermint mocha with extra whipped cream right about now. To my left, we have Alina, who maybe gone through, 3 passion tea lemonades right about today? And then lastly, but definitely not the least, we have Duncan, who's a sucker for a good warm pumpkin spice latte. Now let's talk about what we're going to be talking about for today. We're going to start off with a quick little introduction. We're going to go over the problems that Starbucks faces and what solutions we have in mind for them. Then we're going to go over some decision criteria. We were looking to follow these criteria and we were looking for a solution. We want to make sure that our solution was in sync with this criteria. Next, we're going to talk about our solution and go over an analytical breakdown. We're going to use facts and hard evidence to support our point. Next, we're going to go over our strategy, talk about how we're going to implement this plan, how we're going to market it, what we have in mind, and what we have in store for Starbucks. Then we're going to go over these risks, and we're going to make sure that you guys are not concerned about these risks at all, because we do have some great contingency plans that we're going to use to combat these risks. And then we're going to wrap it all up with a quick little summary, and then we're going to open the floor for questions. Now, Starbucks Rewards is a wonderful loyalty program developed by Starbucks, which rewards their users with stars or digital points which they accumulate to put towards free drinks and food. Now, there's 2 tiers to this membership. That's gold and green, and we're the gold members. So, Starbucks Rewards in the US has about 15.3 million members. That's a lot of members, and they experience 15% year-over-year growth. And these are wonderful statistics. However, the problem arises when these stats don't hold true for Canada, and there's potential within the Canadian market that we believe can be best solved through a strategic partnership. Now, when we were looking for a strategic partner, we had 3 decision criteria in mind. First one being brand alignment. We wanted to protect what Starbucks stands for, what their values are, what their morals are. We want to make sure that this brand is completely in sync with Starbucks. Next, we're looking out for our consumers, the most important aspect of our business. We want to make sure that they feel value and they gain benefit from this partnership. Lastly, we were looking for a growth opportunity, not just for us, but for this brand as well. So not just what this brand can do for Starbucks, but what Starbucks can do for this brand. Now, even though it might sound completely hard to believe, after an extensive search, we were able to find a brand that met all of these criteria. Now, this brand, they're a global player. They have 80 million members globally, with over 10 million of them in Canada. They have over 100 retail storefronts in Canada, and their Canadian website gets more than 15 million visits every single month. And lastly, but definitely not the least, they use goats as a means to be sustainable. Now, I would like to announce our partnership with none other than Costco Wholesale Corporation.
So one of the main goals of our partnership is to remain consistent with Starbucks' current brand image and values. A partnership with Costco perfectly fits this criteria, for reasons including their large and similar customer base and various sustainability initiatives. Costco is a dominant force within the North American warehouse clubs industry, owning a 67.4% market share over major players including Walmart and George Weston. Starbucks' current average customer age is 33 to 38-year-olds, while the demographic of Costco shoppers reaches from adults between 20 and 64 years of age. This will give Starbucks exposure to a wide range of new customers, including older at-home coffee drinkers, while still encompassing their current market. Starbucks also targets those with a millennial mindset, meaning well-educated, affluent individuals focused on satisfying the wants in life, and Costco targets middle to high-income earning customers who can easily afford Starbucks products. Now, when asked, 66% of these millennial mindset shoppers stated that they are more willing to pay for products coming from companies committed to creating positive social and environmental impacts, which is something that both Starbucks and Costco take great pride in. For example, Costco recently implemented a program where they use goats to remove unwanted vegetation from their production plants. This not only saves the company money in landscaping costs, but it also completely eliminates the need for harmful herbicides. Costco also regularly donates to local health clinics, schools, and programs that help communities flourish. These shared values are essential to ensuring that this partnership will align with the current values of Starbucks Rewards members. Lastly, Costco does not currently have any strategic partnerships with any companies within the food and beverage industry, meaning that there will be no risk of conflict.
This partnership will provide substantial value for both Starbucks and Costco customers. Pre-existing Costco members will be able to sign up for the rewards program by scanning their Costco card on the Starbucks mobile app. After doing so, they will receive 100 free gold stars and thereafter will earn stars by purchasing Starbucks products at Costco locations. The 100-star bonus and the ability to earn stars at Costco will get members of this program well on their way to earning free drinks and obtaining gold status at Starbucks. Pre-existing Starbucks Gold members will be able to go to Costco locations and exclusively purchase Starbucks products even if they are not currently a Costco member. Furthermore, members of this program will benefit from an improved shopping experience. Costco will have an increased selection of Starbucks products available to buy in bulk at their retail locations. Buying these products in bulk will allow members of the program to save some money on their Starbucks products while still earning gold stars on their purchases. In addition, we will have in-store free sample booths where customers can try out some Starbucks products, learn more about the rewards program, and ultimately have a better shopping experience.
So not only will this partnership allow for Starbucks to meet all of their decision criteria, but it will also greatly benefit Costco. Both companies will gain access to each other's databases, providing them with valuable information that will allow them to better meet the needs of their customers. They will both gain consumer awareness due to their increased presence across Canada, further attracting more rewards members. And lastly, by partnering with Starbucks, Costco will gain access to higher quality, diversified products that will keep their customers coming back.
As we all know, the implementation plan is vital to the success of a recommendation. So what is ours, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. In the immediate term, it's important that we finalize the details of this partnership. This will ensure that everything we have planned can proceed as we have planned. This is also when we will begin our marketing campaign, which is a four-pronged technique, including social media campaigns, in-app notifications and emails sent to existing members, in-store advertising at Costco locations, such as banners and informed personnel, and finally the Starbucks booths at Costco locations, which will allow passers-by to learn about the partnership and why they should value it. In the short term, we will begin production of these new cards. We will also begin carrying more Starbucks products at Costco. Having an increased variety of these products will help consumers learn to value this partnership and incentivize them to buy these products. In the long term, we will begin actually having the free sample booths in Costco locations. Now, these booths will not only increase Starbucks' presence outside of their own stores, but it will also allow Costco members who haven't had a chance to try Starbucks yet to try it and see why we all love it so much. We will also use the shared customer databases to make adjustments and improve the customer experience. If you look on the screen now, you can see that the Costco wholesale card will be added to the Starbucks app simply by clicking on the Add Card box. The mini-map will now also display Costco locations in addition to the Starbucks locations, which will allow consumers to find out where they can buy their Starbucks products in bulk.
So there are a few potential risks associated with this partnership. One possible risk would be failing to reach the desired number of new members for the program. If this occurs, we would add more benefits to the program, such as further discounts on Starbucks products purchased at Costco or other time-sensitive promotions in order to entice consumers to try out the program. Another possible risk is having a lack of customer understanding about the rewards program and its benefits for the consumer. If this occurs, we would further train staff to be more knowledgeable about the program and be able to pass this knowledge on to the consumer. In addition, we would enhance our marketing strategies in order to be more informative.
As we have seen, Costco is the perfect partner for Starbucks. They align in three different reasons. First of all, brand alignment. They both value sustainability, not only environmental sustainability, but also socially, which is so important for the modern consumer market. Secondly, this partnership will create a great deal of customer value. Customers will value the opportunity to earn stars on Starbucks products which they buy at Costco. Thirdly, this creates an excellent growth opportunity for both Starbucks and Costco. Costco gains the ability to offer its members additional benefits, which will incentivize more people to sign up, whereas Starbucks gains an increased number of their Starbucks Loyalty Rewards Program members. Thank you a latte for listening. Cheers. We now open the floor to questions.
That's great.
I'll go first. Thank you, guys. Very, very thoughtful presentation and great energy to it that you had me both intrigued mentally as well as laughing. So well done. Not a lot of questions for me, but I think my one question, or more of an interest, I would love for you guys to get your POV on is, of the 4 marketing strategies or channels that you guys identified, what do you think is the most important, or in which one of those 4 channels would you invest heaviest?
Absolutely. So the most important of the 4-pronged marketing technique, I would say, is the in-store Starbucks booths at Costco locations. This will attract a new market for Starbucks. They'll not only attract their current market and current young people who go to their stores anyway, but this will allow the coffee drinkers who drink at home to buy their products there, taste it, see that they like it, buy their products, take it home. This gives access to Starbucks to an entirely new market, while also allowing those members, after earning the stars, to come to the cafes for Starbucks, which will then encourage more people to sign up.
Good answer. Thank you.
That was really well done. That was an amazing presentation overall. One of the questions I had was, in terms of the stars, you talked about a 100-star bonus. And how would what would your recommendation be? Right now we give 2 stars for every $1 that you spend. Would you recommend that same value proposition for the products, the Starbucks products in store, or would you recommend something different to differentiate Costco? Would love your recommendation.
So the whole idea behind this is that when you're a Costco member, you're automatically signed up as a Starbucks member. All you got to do is you got to scan your card and you're good to go. So the point of the 100 stars is to get people jump started. So when you start off at green, you need about 300 stars to get to gold, and you want to jump start those consumers and give them a head start, just so they'd be more willing to purchase Costco products and achieve gold status even quicker. And yes, we would in fact maintain the $2 stars per $1, and then that would allow people to accumulate those 125 stars really, really quickly to get a free drink or free food or any item that they choose off the menu.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Love the energy as well. A little bit of a question for me on the Costco. So when I think about the millennial mindset, I think I'm having a little trouble thinking about Costco shoppers, and so I'd love to just dive into that a little bit more about the segment that you've chosen and why Costco.
For sure. So we actually found in our research that Costco targets adults from 20 to 64-year-olds, which would target millennials as well. We also found that their mission statement actually states that they focus on serving quality goods, which is something that millennials really focus on as well as people with the millennial mindset tend to be educated and affluent individuals, and the majority of Costco shoppers actually earn over $80K per year. So that aligns with Starbucks' target market of the millennial mindset as well.
Sounds good. Maybe just a follow-up question then. What do you see as the most innovative element of this partnership proposal?
So the best part about this is that we want to have an increased selection of Starbucks products at Costco stores. We want Costco to be the place where you go for all your in-home coffee needs. So when we think of our product selection at Costco, there's currently a very, very limited amount of selection. So it might be like a few flavors of K-Cups, maybe like some ground beans or whatever. But we want them to have the entire Starbucks product selection. So we want them to have ground beans, we want them to have whole beans, we want them to have K-Cups or anything that a coffee drinker needs. We want them to go to Costco. We want Costco to be that place. And in the future, potentially, depending on the analytical data that we gather, Costco could possibly be the only retailer that carries Starbucks Reserve coffees. And we have been thinking about that, and that could be a potential way to gain additional consumers.
Great job. My question is, you talked a lot about expanding the Costco selection and number of SKUs of at-home coffee products. Do you think that at all will hurt Starbucks cafe business, and what part of your plan is directed to getting Costco members to go into Starbucks stores themselves?
So actually, we have thought about that. We have actually prepared a slide as well just to show you. So these are statistics from the Coffee Association of Canada. So coffee drinkers at home are a completely separate market. People who love to drink their coffee at home don't necessarily go into stores. So that's a completely unreached potential that we have considered. So about 72% of all Canadians 1879 drank coffee yesterday, and about 76% of those prepare their coffee at home. So it's about 55% of all Canadian coffee drinkers. And as you see by this graph right over here, Canadian consumers have a variety of methods to prepare their coffee at home. So what this allows them to do is that they can prepare their coffee in any way that they want. They could hand grind them themselves. They can use their own grinders. They can do whatever they want. They have complete control over the product, and at-home coffee drinkers definitely do appreciate that. And an additional strategy that we do have is that when Costco consumers come into Starbucks, they try their coffee, they drink it at home, we want them every single time they pass by Starbucks, we want them to be like, oh, I need a coffee. Because honestly, for coffee, you can go to McDonald's, you can go to Tim Hortons, you can go anywhere you want. But we want to sell them Starbucks. We want Starbucks to be the place where they get their coffee because they know that's their coffee, that's where the quality is, and they get stars.
Thanks very much, and congratulations on making it to the round today.
Thank you.
My question to you is actually about the database marketing piece that you had in your presentation. Just wanted to get a sense on what sort of database marketing you were looking to do between the Costco and the Starbucks brands, what some of the objectives you have for that marketing initiative are.
So for the database marketing, we're going to figure out which products are most popular at Costco. We will then use this to target, say like certain stores have more popular products. Obviously the consumer base likes those products. So we'll implement those changes and push those products a lot at all the other stores in addition.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Killed, I guess. Thank you. This is ours. Any idea where the thing for this one? No? Probably in my bag or something. I just muted it. Maybe in the computer upstairs.
What are you looking for?
We had a little adapter for this. I have no idea where it went though.
If we see it, I will. It's definitely not here though.
No, I don't think so. Probably in my bag or we were practicing it on the other rooms probably. Thank you so much though.
All right, could I have B10 come on down, please?
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
How far does it usually go?
Up around here.
Here?
A little bit lower. There you go.
Okay.
Oh wait, and
Are there 5 of you?
yeah.
Put it up actually on your tie is the best place.
Right here?
Yeah, a little bit higher. Perfect.
Low.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
You want the microphone?
Yeah, I want the microphone in front. So, it's on?
Yeah, put it on your. Is it on? No? Green light.
Is this
Hello? Hello?
A little higher.
A little higher?
How do we... Yeah, this is a mission. Alright,
Yeah, wait, can we just put it in the pocket?
Is this okay?
Is it fine in the pocket or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hello?
Okay,
Hello?
here I'll just
Hello?
put this in or?
Can they hear us already?
Yo,
No.
is mine loud?
When he turns it on.
I just put it in my pocket. Yeah. Oh yeah, just put in that. Put in that.
No, that's too small of a pocket.
Alright, Sonia.
Hear you as easily as possible. Is good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
All right. Try saying
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
No.
It's really low.
No.
Hello?
You're on. Hello?
all right.
Hello? No.
Hello?
Hello?
All right.
Okay.
You're on.
I think
Are you on?
Yeah.
Can you guys?
You say it.
Hello? Talk?
Hello?
Talk.
Say loud, say loud.
Okay. We're good.
So 2 and 2.
I can't.
Okay, so you're
Can't
gonna
do
be there.
this. I'm going home. I'm going home.
Oh no. You have it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well. That's
Want to
good.
like move up a little bit?
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Are you good?
Whoops.
Are you good?
Just give me 1 sec.
You want to move up a bit?
Yeah. Just
No,
wait.
all of us.
Low. The
Okay.
volume's so low on this shit.
Guys, move up a bit.
Is mine working? Can you hear me?
Talk.
Hello?
I don't know. I actually don't know if you...
Yeah, man.
Maybe you just have the quieter one.
Yeah.
I might, but
You want to spread out just a little bit?
I don't echo. Keep going.
Okay. By a show of hands, how many of you in this room have ever used a navigation app to either get to work, to the store, or if nothing else, on a road trip? So looking at the responses around the room kind of shows what's going on in the market right now, with there being a huge increase in the amount of users using navigation apps on a daily basis. 74% of all smartphone users, in fact. And it is because of this increase in navigation use that the partner that we are proposing to Starbucks today is Waze. As we all know, Starbucks faces the problem of trying to increase the amount of existing and new customers engaged in their rewards app. And we as a team believe that Waze has the opportunity to offer Starbucks A, access to a larger target market, B, an improved experience for all Waze and Starbucks customers, and C, the opportunity to work with a company that shares its values and has a similar customer base. So today in our presentation, we're going to be looking at what opportunities existing in the environment to make this partnership possible. We're going to be looking at our partnership in a little bit more detail. We're going to be looking at the implementation and marketing plan and what the expected results of that are. And lastly, we're going to be looking at how this will affect existing customers and what regulations we may have to deal with. To begin, let's look at Waze itself. So Waze usage in Canada has shown immense growth in the last couple of years, with usage doubling every single year annually since 2015. Not only has usage grown in Canada as a whole, usage in traffic-dense areas like the GTA has shown even further growth, with over 400,000 users in that area alone. Waze has set itself apart from other GPS apps in the way that it offers a unique and interactive model to doing business, in which community members can help other community members accomplish the common goal of beating traffic. This model has led to high satisfaction amongst its users and made it one of the most reputable apps on the market. I would like to pass it on now to my colleague, Ibi, to talk a little bit more about our partnership in detail.
Thank you. So Waze is a GPS navigation app which provides real-time traffic information such as oncoming police, traffic jams, collisions, and lowest price gas stations and much more, all provided by your fellow drivers on the road. By partnering with Waze, Starbucks can solve their problem of limited growth within their membership program by tapping into the extensive user base that Waze possesses. Also, by providing rewards points for users who share traffic data and reports, it will incentivize them to become Starbucks Rewards members to gain the benefits from something that they will already be doing. This also provides reasoning for Starbucks customers to become Waze users to also gain advantage of this new reward system. Lastly, this will improve the Waze app by increasing the number of users they have and the number of reports coming in, therefore providing more accurate and updated traffic information. Next, I'd like to talk about the implementation plan. So in the short term, we'd like to get a team to crack down on this project and take it over to the Waze executives to discuss this potential partnership. Next, in the medium term, we'd like to program new features into both Waze and Starbucks apps and make them compatible with each other, design partnership advertisements, and finally roll out the partnership and do the marketing for it. Lastly, in the long term, we like to do continuous in-app marketing to constantly remind the users of both the partnership and the benefits that they can receive, and constantly evaluate our performance using data analytics to see where we can improve and enhance the partnership. Now I'd like to pass it over to Neeraj for the marketing plan.
Thank you. We believe that the marketing plan should play towards the strengths that this partnership is creating for both companies, and that is broad target differentiation. This is because it's targeting such a mass amount of consumers, and it helps differentiate each company over their competitors. First of all, let's look at Waze. How does this make Waze better than other GPS traffic navigation apps? It's because by using Waze now and doing exactly what Waze wants you to do, you can earn Starbucks stars and therefore redeem Starbucks rewards for yourself. Now with Starbucks, it's less obvious. But now by going to Starbucks, instead of only helping Starbucks to go, you're helping this partnership to go, which means that you're thereby promoting safer and easier driving on the roads. Now for the advertising, Starbucks is targeting customers with a millennial mindset, and people with a millennial mindset tend to be the ones who most frequently use social media. Therefore, we believe that most of the advertising should take place over social media, as it will be the cheapest and most effective way to be able to reach those customers. Now, as with any partnership, there's an aspect of earned advertising. This means that whenever Starbucks advertises a partnership, it's free advertising for Waze, and whenever Waze advertises a partnership, it's free advertising for Starbucks. Finally, we recommend paid advertising. This will include paying influencers and sponsors to advertise to their followers on social media to engage with this partnership, as those would be customers that you weren't already reaching with your own marketing. Lastly, the most important part of the marketing plan is the aspect of continuity. With any other form of advertising, customers get a chance to see it once and it's gone. However, with continuous marketing, by incorporating a Starbucks logo into the Waze app and a Waze logo into the Starbucks app, you're constantly reminding customers of the partnership and you're giving them numerous chances to be able to engage with it. Now I'd like to pass it over to Lawson, who's going to talk about the expected outcomes.
Thank you. All right, so the first point I have to talk about for expected outcomes is to expand the installed base. Not only for Starbucks, but also for Waze. We just want to increase the amount of people using both apps. And the next part I have to talk about is to diversify the target market. So currently, Starbucks is looking at people who have the millennial mindset. And we really aren't trying to break free from that specialization, but we're just trying to tap into a new market, which we're going to call the commuter market. So right now, the highest use for the Waze app is actually during the mornings and the evenings when people are commuting to work, coming back from work, during rush hour. So we really feel we can tap into this market and really create a whole culture about it. People, they're going to work, they want a coffee, they want a bite to eat, and then they've earned points and stars doing stuff that they would normally already do when they're driving to work, and then they stop by the Starbucks, and then they grab a cup of coffee to go, and that really helps us in terms of promoting this partnership. And the next part is to increase user activity. So that's one of the core problems that Starbucks is facing right now. There's a number of people on the program that actually aren't that active. They have a coffee a year, basically, and that isn't very good for the loyalty program. So basically, with this partnership, we're going to try to reverse that trend and incentivize activity. And the next part is to improve the Waze app. So the Waze app is going to get improved because there's going to be more people reporting hazards, accidents, police, stuff like that. And then that's going to make it easier for all customers to get from point A to point B easier and quicker. And so the next point I have to talk about is the benefit to investment. Why should you invest in our partnership? What's the point and what do we have to offer? And the first point I have to talk about is that we're really low cost. For this partnership, all we need is a couple programmers to come in, make the two apps compatible, make the accounts transferable between both apps, and the ability to earn stars on the Waze app. And the next point is that there's a short implementation period. Really, to implement this partnership and to really get it fully implemented should really only take 1 or 2 months, and that really works to our advantage. And because it's so easy to implement, because it takes a little time, and because it's so inexpensive, that really allows us to have some time and money and resources to be spent on seeing if we're hitting those objectives. And it really allows us to have ample time for course correction. And if we are hitting those objectives, great. If we're not, we can use marketing, data analytics, social media, anything like that to really make sure that our partnership is the best that it could be. And the last point I have to talk about is that it benefits both parties. This part's super important. So Starbucks has benefited for multiple reasons, but mainly because they have increased customers on their loyalty program. But also, Waze has benefited because they have an improved app. People are reporting hazards, accidents, that sort of thing. So now Matthew's going to talk about the existing customers and how that benefits our partnership.
Thank you. Every month, Waze has over 90 million active users, and these users absolutely love using Waze. This can be seen through the stat that Waze users spend on average over 7 hours a month using Waze as their preferred way from getting from point A to point B. On top of this, Waze users are also extremely satisfied with their experience, as Waze ranks #1 on the App Store in terms of apps that rely on users communicating from one to another in order to successfully function, beating out rivals such as even Google Maps in this regard. I'd also like to touch briefly on safety while I'm here. I'm happy to report that Waze can be used without even thinking about or looking at your phone. This is because Waze has voiceover support, as well as support for Apple CarPlay, as well as Android Auto. This means there's no risk of distracted driving, making it perfectly legal everywhere in Canada, making it completely safe. So we think that Waze is the ideal partnership for Starbucks. This is because it allows Starbucks to tap into Waze's customer base and allows them to incentivize them for using the Waze app. On top of this, it also makes it easier for Starbucks Rewards member for them to use the program, as all they have to do is use the Waze app as they usually would in order to earn stars. This can be backed with a strong implementation plan and strong marketing plan to make the Starbucks Rewards program even better than it already is. Nobody likes driving to work in the morning, so why not let Starbucks and Waze make that drive something to look forward to? Thank you so much, and we'd love to take any questions.
That was an amazing presentation. Thank you very much. As a commuter, our office is in Toronto or North Toronto, so I live in the west end of Toronto, so I do have quite a commute. Would you ever recommend, from a marketing perspective, to have the Starbucks locations en route to be able to stop into and pop into? Would you have a recommendation around how we can integrate our stores into the app?
So, can I see the clicker? Yeah. So we actually did think about that, and we made a couple plans of how that might look like. So we would incorporate the Starbucks logo to show where the nearest Starbucks is on your route, on wherever you're driving, so pop-up locations where you're nearest, and also have the logo constantly displaying while the navigation app is working. So this will psychologically push users to go towards Starbucks rather than any other competitors, and also this will help them in seeing where the closest Starbucks is to them, and they can use the rewards points that they've earned and go over there and also gain more rewards for the new purchase.
Thank you.
Nice, good question, good answer. I guess building off of that, before I go to my question, does Waze have any partnerships or anything that you guys have seen during your research that with any of the brands that they do this with? Are there any other brands that have increased presence within Waze apps to show visibility during your route?
No. Okay. Waze currently doesn't have any, but they are owned by Google. So in terms of anything closely related to partnerships, they do have access to any of Google's resources, but no other partnerships.
Nice. The stat you called out about 90 million active users, was that global, North America, Canada? Any clarity on where that stat came from, or if not? It's all
that would be a global stat.
Okay, cool. Good to know. And then I guess my last question, sorry, I'm on a roll right now. I think I like the idea of where you're going. It's very similar to what a lot of apps are doing, where it's using a currency as a way of rewarding engagement within the app. Mm-hmm. So do these actions, use our app more, and we'll reward you with X. Do they do that? Do they do any of that with any of the brands in here, or have you seen any other brands or any other apps in the marketplace that you guys like how they approach it with other brands in terms of rewarding behavior with a loyalty currency?
So we didn't consider other apps and what they're trying to do to increase participation, but we felt that based on the model that Waze is so centrally focused on, in which the more users in it and the more information coming in, the more accurate the app eventually becomes. We felt that it was really fitting to this model in which consumers would be more inclined to be rewarded for their behavior, because not only are they getting a better service, but they're also getting rewarded for the behavior for something that they would already be doing.
Nice, good answer. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting. I love the Waze app, and TD's done some experimentation with it, so I think it's really cool. One of the things, like, you've talked a lot about the engagement with the app, and I think you've got some really great ideas on that. I think just maybe building off some of the other questions, like, how do you see getting more people into Starbucks stores and actually buying more coffee, if I can put it that way?
So one of the proposed ideas that we have actually for this partnership is to implement a built-in menu and ordering system into the actual interface. So Waze can be used entirely through voice, and that really works to our advantage. You can have people just doing something like, can I have Monday's order, okay? And then they'll order you whatever you want, like the pumpkin latte or something like that. And then you're not using your phone, there's no distraction. And then it's just so convenient and so easy to order something through this way. And then you just stop at the nearest Starbucks as it appears in the app, then you just pick it up and go. And then I guess that would be another model that we've created.
Great job. My question is, who do you think has more to gain out of this partnership, Starbucks or Waze, and why?
So we feel that Starbucks and Waze, though they both have equal in terms of increased usage and increased larger access to a market in terms of both companies, we feel that maybe Starbucks would be the one to gain more out of this because of the growth that Waze has seen in Canada and the potential that it shows to grow in the future. Waze is up and coming and it's growing and it doesn't show a sign of stopping, whereas Starbucks has an established presence already. So in that sense, by accessing Waze's growing population, the amount of users that are using it, Starbucks has the opportunity to tap into a market that doesn't show any sign of slowing down.
Great presentation, folks. As a frequent Starbucks customer and Waze user, this really speaks to me. Question that I have is that I'm wondering if the more general population that's using Waze is really aligned to the Starbucks shopper, so the higher value millennial mindset. Have you done a comparison of the people who use Waze with the people who shop at Starbucks to see if the overlap is there?
We don't actually have any stats on the demographics and whether they match. However, we do know that the millennial mindset is focused on using GPS navigation apps such as Waze because it's so interactive. It's drivers helping drivers on the road. And that's what they like. That's what differentiates it from other GPS navigation apps. And Starbucks is trying to attract that millennial mindset. And we also know that the brand values of the companies are aligned with each other as they're both focused on engaging with the community and helping strangers help each other. So with Waze, they're focused on helping drivers help each other, fellow drivers on the road, reporting traffic and hazards on the road so that they can build a community within that. And Starbucks is also focused on building a community by making people's days better one cup of coffee at a time. So if that answers your question.
That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on. Your mic.
All right, at this point in time, I think we could all use a bit of a stretch. I know you're all excited. We're going to take a bit of a stretch, so we're going to take a 15-minute break. Give the judges a chance to also regroup and think about what they've seen so far. So at exactly 2:30, we want the team from panel 4 to be ready to go. All right? Thank you.
Good job. There we go. Thank you.
Breathe. Because they, so what happened was I had done a PD day session for all of the local high school teachers. And as part of that discussion, they asked me, what are we doing in the first year? So I talked to them about this live case and mentioned it in the context of everything else. And thought, it's not a deal for us to expand if somebody else wants to do it. So we let I said, with any high school teacher that's interested, I'll give you all the materials, and your classes can do it in parallel to us, and you're welcome to come and watch today. And so there are, I'm not sure where they're hiding, although some of them do.
If they ever have any, if they ever want to present, or if they ever want us to come and share their thoughts, I would love to do that. Yeah, that'd be a good experience.
As far as time goes, we a little bit of a stretch break sparse today because there's only about 250 that are here, and the room seats 1,000. So it seats 1,000. No, it doesn't seem like it does.
No, it doesn't seem a lot bigger than like
a one
and
with a little bit.
and 1001, but wider.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we did ours in 111, it was a lot older room, a lot smaller. But the aisles were packed.
Oh, really?
It was just like,
Yeah.
okay, hang on a second. This is a little, yeah. There's no stage. It's like, like this. So
Oh, wow.
I feel like I'm event ticket attacked. No, I don't have cabinets up here. Well, thanks for supporting us as well. Like getting the brand names to come in and
I think that makes such a big difference, right? The excitement around a real brand and real.
It's not just it's not a concept. It's not
exactly.
Like, XYZ manufacturing.
Yeah. My husband did his MBA at Ivy, and some of the cases was just like, I don't remember this company.
Yeah.
Like, it's like from like the 40s. Like it feels like it's like really updated.
I'm sure it's a good academic case, but that's not what this
but
is.
it's not. No, this is actually real life. Yeah. Thank you for bringing us.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for doing all the hard work.
Yeah.
I did see somebody do
I've been following
that tour.
Yeah, that's
So I'm thinking
Matt
about
Starbucks. Research is good. I don't know how you guys
I'm sorry. I was really good at not being helpful.
value in doing this with multiple schools. It's really, from our point of view, my point of view, like being on a small team and like not having time and energy to think sometimes. It's like I get these, like the amount of ideas that these already sparked in my head of like, all right, cool, that's a similar value prop. At least from a partnership standpoint, great. Although I'm not going to do that. That's just like I'm going to take that. This totally this so just to get it over the things, thought process, totally valid.
And I do. I've been really like, I'm going to go back to Starbucks
You didn't. I was going to. But... It was, which I was like, oh no. As long as we're not going to get thrown out. Starbucks?
I wish I could run that fast. We have one down the street.
Exactly. Just start walking around talking. Yeah, that's true.
Seeing like it's like be on stage.
I know, right?
So long way to the end.
Oh, really?
You're saying you're struggling to see the value in acquisition
Somehow they were able to find out. They had about as much time to do it. Yeah, take note. I'll listen to them all.
What one's this? I love the way they're
892 6870.
And so instead of we're talking about customers, there's stores, there's a lot of retailers that are there, and you're going, cool, who is it? And so by the time you get to Costco, you're like as opposed to right? That's really smart. Absolutely. So, I haven't seen all of those last ones.
And just be prepared for industry stats, like I said, and presentation skills. All these are things just like 2 months into school.
I don't know visuals. They not have a lot of content on them.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, it's true.
You guys together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh!
Actually, you know, that's what we need is a picture. Well, we're going to picture
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
channel
picture,
together
yeah,
after we
perfect.
visit the photographer and a nice one of gesture.
Do you ever teach? You don't teach?
No, I refuse to do that. It's hard enough feeling comfortable in the classes of children. When the class is big where you're also physically separated from them because you have time, it just feels like no, I mean, honestly, the ones who come visit me, whose names I know, I can see their faces, and so I'll call them all kind of, and you can see the impression that it's kind of like, oh, okay. Right? Or if they move around, like last, I don't know what happened, but when I was teaching, they must have migrated to where their case teams were sitting. The students normally, like, I get to know where certain faces are, but I don't remember their names. And so I'm lecturing them, and this doesn't, like, what's going on? And I was like, what are you doing over there?
I know you
sit
guys
over here.
You're messing me up.
So one thing that I heard, and I don't remember it, so I didn't want to take it out, was
That's the funniest thing. That's why I didn't realize you have the photos of everything.
yeah, because that's what
That culture me back in. This is a good thing.
fellow coming down the aisle and Thomas, he completed that a week ago. And he came to my office and said, could you just give me some tips for taking the place and communicating? And so I just walked him through the stuff that we're using for the data systems. He said, talk to me initially, he goes, I can trust. Because I applied your criteria. Yeah.
Previous boss at Starbucks, she obviously, before you go in, especially to the president of Canada, he was very lovely. He's not intimidating, but kind of serious. Just to kind of do a one-foot pose before you go in, and it's true, and you get that.
That's now on. Just clip it probably.
Thank you. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Thank you.
Ties on the ties.
Okay.
I did
Like about here or so?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Can I plug it in?
Where do I put this on?
Oh wait, yours has a sponge thing?
On our bill?
Okay.
Is it bad if it's just hanging down like this?
Who's the loudest person? When you guys speak, who's the loudest?
Me?
Yeah.
It's one of us.
William?
Who are you? So let's switch out then.
Okay.
He tends to be a little quieter.
Sure.
But giving it to somebody who's louder, you'll balance all of you out.
We still hear all of you.
Yeah.
For the live stream.
Oh, it's like a tiny mic.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, just your size.
What do you mean?
Your height. What do you think?
Oh,
How does this work?
Oh, okay.
Where'd you put this on? Where does?
Okay, that'll do.
Oh, that works?
Yeah.
Hey, perfect.
My pocket's not open.
Yeah.
Hello?
Or just move it along your belt so it's very.
You can put it on your pocket too.
Okay.
Make sure that was on.
That's the mic? Starbucks?
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 Test.
Let's try.
I like Starbucks. I can't hear myself.
Starbucks? Test? Okay.
Okay. Say something.
Test.
It's on.
All right.
Test? Starbucks?
Okay. Try now.
Test?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Be
Yeah.
confident.
Test. It's okay, just be
Is
loud.
that the clicker?
Oh. Hey, Sophie, is this the clicker we can use?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, in position?
Yeah.
How do you go back? Wait, move up a little.
Yes, I'm going to start with Scott.
Yeah? Wrong side.
Wrong side?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's a proud TA taking a picture of you guys. All right, welcome back. The group from panel 4 is ready to go. Yes?
Yep.
All right, floor is yours.
What if we told you that your regular morning coffees can do more than help you through that daily grind?
That your pumpkin spice latte can do more than just tingle your taste buds.
What if we told you instead that your everyday cup of coffee could lead to a better, greener future?
Esteemed judges, we would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to meet with us today. My name is Jason.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Julie.
I'm William.
And I'm Jackie. Today, we're going to tell you how I can achieve all of that through a partnership with Tentry.
Okay, so today we'll be going through a recommendation, followed by a decision criteria and implementation plan, and all the other components that will bring together a cohesive plan for you today. So let's dive right into the recommendation. When consumers are looking for a rewards program, they're looking for something that offers them a technological and creative experience. They're looking for rewards that are attainable and valuable. Through a partnership with Tentry, we believe we can hit all of those aspects, all the while creating a community for Starbucks members to become a part of. So, who is Tentry first? Tentry is a Canadian-based apparel B corporation that plants 10 trees for every item you purchase. They produce modern, indie clothing, generally for millennials. And they do that by using eco-friendly materials. So they're very focused on being environmentally sustainable. So what we're planning to do with Tentry is we're planning to plant 10 trees for every 125 stars you earn. And that's in addition to the current rewards that you can attain. So you can still get that free drink you wanted. You can also buy Tentry and Starbucks branded apparel in order to plant those 10 trees. Our idea is really centered around gamification and technology, as Starbucks Rewards members can now interact more with the Starbucks Rewards app. They can compete through leaderboards with their friends and families, and they can view Starbucks' collective impact. While waiting in line for their drinks, they can read articles on the local impact that they've created, and they can also watch cute animated versions of their trees grow. Finally, we will send personalized thank you notes to each and every Starbucks Rewards member in order to show our commitment to their loyalty. Now I'll hand it over to Victoria to talk about why our partnership is the best strategy in order to meet Starbucks' objectives.
So we use the following decision criteria to help us choose the best partnership strategy. First, it must align with Starbucks brand values and goals. Next, it must increase and maintain usage of Starbucks Rewards. And last, it must provide a long-term advantage for both companies. So starting with alignment. Canadians have increased expenditure on environmentally responsible investments by over 49% since 2015. And this is largely due to Starbucks' target market of millennial mindset consumers. So as Starbucks aims to position itself as a corporate social leader in environmental sustainability, Tentry aims to become the most environmentally progressive brand on the planet, having planted over 24 million trees in over 6 different countries. So with both companies' goals aligned, the partnership will not only be synergetic, but will also bolster Starbucks' attractiveness to this millennial mindset consumer base. Now moving forward, this partnership increases usage through engagement, gamification, and personalization. So 89% of Canadians are loyal to brands that they share similar values to. So by incorporating an explicit environmental purpose that millennial mindset individuals care about and can become engaged in, makes them more compelled to join that loyalty program. Now, gamification increases activity by over 68%. So our leaderboard strategy that my colleague Jason mentioned heightens the value of the app such that they maintain usage of it. And last but not least, sending out personalized thank you messages and creating milestone stickers makes customers feel valued and loyal to Starbucks. So all in all, Tentry expands their mission awareness, while Starbucks better positions its brand as a corporate social leader, and both companies have access to each other's millennial mindset consumer base, thus increasing respective clientele. Now in the long term, Tentry is incentivized to remain partnered with Starbucks through the increased revenue that they'll receive from branded merchandise sales, and Starbucks gains a long-term differentiation advantage through the unique value proposition that our reward strategy offers to loyal customers. So now that I've shown you why our partnership strategy meets all the requirements of our decision criteria, I'll now hand it over to Julie to talk about our implementation and contingency plans.
Now, in order to ensure the success of this partnership, we must execute an efficient yet effective plan. We'll start by proposing the idea to the executive team at Tentry. Once an agreement has been established, we can immediately begin research and development. This is so we can have a better understanding of our target market's preferences and ensure that the products and services we will be providing are unique, meet their needs, and desirable to them. Now on to short-term actions. We can begin by implementing our proposed marketing and advertising plan. Next, our app development team can start the integration and gamification of the current rewards app. Finally, our design team can begin designing and producing the exclusive Tentry and Starbucks products, getting them in stores as soon as possible. In the long run, we can perform data analytics to track the success of our partnership. Using this knowledge, we can then adjust our strategies to better align with the environment and its ongoing changes. With this knowledge, we can further improve our partnership by taking in this feedback. And finally, Starbucks can expand its product line with Tentry, releasing seasonal collections year after year, providing customers with new, trendy, and stylish ways to participate. Now let's look at the risks. A possible risk that we may encounter is that it's too cost-heavy on Starbucks to implement the partnership. One solution to this is to have collective costs with Tentry in fields such as marketing or research. Another solution is to initially start with smaller rewards and increase them as our financial capabilities allow us to. Another issue that we may encounter is that not enough people are aware of our partnership. In this scenario, we can increase our focus on advertising and create awareness through unique marketing strategies. And with that being said, I will now pass it on to Will for a more detailed marketing plan.
Our marketing plan consists of 3 main strategies to target 3 segments within our target market. Firstly, we want to target those who are digital consumers, as many of those with the millennial mindset are. We will make sure that we do this through the implementation of digital acts such as social media posts, YouTube and advertisement videos, as well as the Starbucks Rewards app itself. This way people can make sure that they stay online and aware on the digital world of this partnership. Next, we also want to make sure that we promote to our current Starbucks customers. And the way we'll be doing this is through in-store promotions. We're going to incorporate a few things, including adding the Tentry and Starbucks cross-branded merchandise into pre-existing product displays, using the in-store Starbucks blackboards to have baristas write in updates about the game within the app so people can see how well that community is doing, as well as how well that Starbucks location is doing in terms of contribution. And finally, we're going to incorporate new designs within our cups and our stickers, as we do normally for the holiday season, except now for a partnership with Tentry and Starbucks. This way, anybody who walks into a Starbucks store, whether they've been there once that week, 5 times that week, or have never been there at all, will make sure that they know about this partnership and can learn about how they can get involved. Finally, we want to highlight the third strategy of our marketing plan, which is the idea of a pop-up shop with a Zen Forest idea. And this is targeted at those who are not Starbucks customers. In order to better pique their interest, we're going to have the current Starbucks pop-up shops that we have at some of the community events in Canada incorporated into the Zen Forest, which is essentially a green space that highlights the best of Canada's natures in trees and plants, flora, fauna, and more. This pop-up shop is going to be located in the Zen Forest, and while people are there, they can try some of the new holiday flavors, get their favorite drink, buy some new Tentry and Starbucks apparel, and have a great time with their friends and family. But most importantly, they're going to be able to understand and appreciate the beauty of the nature they're surrounded by. They're going to understand why. Why did Starbucks and Tentry collaborate together? What are they trying to accomplish? And how can I become a part of this? All the while, we're going to attract passerbys at these events who may or may not have been interested in this before, but we're going to be amazed by the wow factor that this brings. And then from there on, the Zen Forest and the pop-up shop can collaborate to convince them to sign up as well. So we can see through targeting these 3 market segments in this target market of the millennial mindset, we can ensure that we can increase and maximize our market exposure to the fullest, which can have great long-term implications for us, which Jackie will now be going over.
As a result of this partnership, 841,000 people will sign up for the Starbucks Reward program. We obtained this figure by estimating the existing customer base of Tentry, plus the additional environmentally conscious Canadians who will also sign up for the program. Furthermore, we estimated an annual profit of $4.3 million for Starbucks. As a whole, our partnership not only provide not only provide social values to those with a millennial mindset, but also provide financial value to Starbucks.
Okay, So just like an ecosystem, each component of our plan comes together in perfect harmony. It brings forward invaluable brand awareness, an increased customer base, and significant retention in Starbucks Rewards members. So, we are extremely confident that Tentree is the best partner to collaborate with in order to foster change and build a better, greener future. 10
trees at a time. We'll now open the floor up to any questions.
Great presentation. Great presentation, thank you. And I love green, so I love all the green. TD. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about the risk that might be present? So Tentree being, super focused on the environment, and I get the brand alignment, but maybe talk a little bit more about risks that might be inherent in this partnership.
Yeah, so as we know, Tentree and Starbucks both have existing apps or databases that they draw from, and a potential risk that we thought of that wasn't included is that it might be difficult to integrate those two databases together, and we think a possible solution is to have maybe both app development teams or software engineers collaborate together to create a new database that is able to draw from each individual ones just for the partnership, so we can store any information that we need in order to carry out this partnership.
Great. Did you think about, at the start, do you think that consumers would see the two brands as similar in their environmental focus, and any risks around that?
I can take this question. So I think that Starbucks is already trying to align itself with environmental sustainability with its reusable cup initiative and fair trade coffee. And I think that these initiatives, they aren't necessarily explicit to the consumer base. So customers are not necessarily aware of these initiatives. So the thing with our reward strategy, it gets these customers actively engaged in it because they're participating in it, and in some sense, they're the ones that are planting these 10 trees. So I think that that alignment works well in this partnership.
Great presentation, thank you very much. You had mentioned the 125 stars equals 10 trees planted. Is that when you obtain the 125 stars, then Starbucks rewards that? Or as a customer, do you give up the 125 stars to put towards the program?
Yeah, so if I can clarify that. So what we're basically doing is that when you earn 125 stars, Starbucks will do it immediately. So you don't have to choose between whether or not you want to get the free drink or the 10 trees, but instead we add the 10 trees in as added value. So the Starbucks Rewards member can get both of them. And we did the profit calculations to actually calculate that out, and we see that we do make a substantial profit, so we can do it in that manner.
And not knowing very much about 10 trees, could you just tell me a little bit more about where the trees are planted? Could it be in a community level, or is it rainforest? Could you just explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I can do that. And if we can go to the first slide here, Tentree actually plants in over 6 countries, and they've planted 24 million trees. They've planted in Madagascar, Senegal, Haiti. They've planted in Canada and and in the United States. But mainly what Tentree does is they partner with Eden Reforestation, and Eden Reforestation does planting those 10 trees, and they really take care of those trees and let those trees grow into the full tree and the flourished tree that we actually are looking for. And because of that, we think that Tentree builds that community, Tentree is able to build that local community where they plant those trees, and they're able to make a new ecosystem. So in that manner, we're actually able to do that environmental sustainability, environmental benefit, but we're also able to get that community benefit in the local communities.
Thank you. And just one last question. 10 trees, and I feel like I'm a pretty good brand awareness individual as a business owner. Could you tell me, what do you think the brand awareness is of 10 trees amongst millennial mindset customers, and where you think that sort of fits in with Starbucks' brand awareness?
Yeah, so I'll take the first part of that in addressing who Tentree is, and then Vicky will talk about how it actually aligns with Starbucks correctly. So what Tentry is, Tentry actually started back in 2012. They went on Dragon's Den in 2013, and throughout that process, they've grown into become, over those 6 years, they've become, like they've planted 24 million trees. So they've seen significant growth throughout that time. And I think they're very prominent without millennials because they do a lot of social media advertising. They have around millions of followers on Instagram. So in that manner, we think that they do actually have a lot of brand awareness in that sense.
So a key defining characteristic of millennial mindset consumers is that they love personal experiences. And I think that Tentry is able to play to that, but through their Instagram posts, they post post models in like very environmental locations, seeking very adventurous experiences. And I think that is a way that they're able to cater towards that millennial mindset consumer market, which is what Starbucks wants. So I think in that sense, they both have similar target markets, and I think that's where our partnership aligns.
Nicely done, guys. Yeah, it was a very unique angle on partnership from a social corporate responsibility perspective. So nicely done. Good thinking outside the box. My question building off of that, do you guys think this partnership would be more of a benefit? And there's no right or wrong answer, but just curious to get your thoughts. Do you think this would be more of a play for Starbucks in the social corporate responsibility realm of things, or do you think it is in fact a Starbucks Rewards acquisition opportunity? And it absolutely can be both, but how would you rank it looking at those two lenses?
I can address that question.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I think that we can establish this partnership in order to test out, to see whether or not this is actually a good way of going forward. And then in the long run, if it does work out, if it's a good benefit towards Starbucks, then we can look towards acquiring them. So I think in the beginning, it would be a social responsible idea. And then in the long run, we can see how it goes.
Yes, good answer. And maybe just talk to me about how do you think Starbucks could get that acquisition from Tentry customers? In other words, how can we get Tentry customers to join Starbucks? Have you guys given any thought to how we would make that conversion happen?
Yeah, I can definitely answer that question for you. We can see that by taking this move, there's definitely a way for us to get Starbucks or Tentry customers over to Starbucks. We do see that the kind of clothing that Tentry makes is for those with the millennial mindset. And furthermore, we can see that out of all the clothing options those with the millennial mindset could choose, they chose Tentry. Specifically, for that reason being that they care about the environment and they want to plant trees. Otherwise, they could have gone to any other apparel or apparel retailer. So we can see that when we do take Tentry and we partner with them, we're offering them another choice now. They could go to any coffee store they want, but instead, they now have an option to do what they're doing with Tentry now with Starbucks, to go to a coffee shop and order coffee and be able to plant even more trees in addition to that, which is something they value since they're there in the first place. So we can see that by partnering with Tentry, we were able to give them another option in their lifestyle to contribute even further, and that's what's going to enable them to, when they go to a coffee shop, when they're making all the decisions between who to get coffee from, they're going to come to Starbucks.
Cool, thank you.
Great job. I'm going to ask the same question that I asked before. Who do you think gets more benefit out of this partnership, Tentry or Starbucks?
So I think they both benefit from the partnership, but in different ways. So Starbucks is able to improve its brand image. So since environmental concerns are increasing as time goes by, and people are becoming more and more concerned about making environmentally responsible investments, I think it's important for Starbucks to position itself in that manner, and as such, they'll be able to increase their consumer usage of the app through the strategies that we've mentioned earlier. Which is what we want from this partnership. And then Tentry is able to expand its brand and mission awareness, so it gets increased revenue from the additional sales.
And then just a quick follow-up question. What types of, don't have to know this if you don't know this, what types of trees is Tentry currently planting? Starbucks has a lot of coffee trees around the world, and is that a potential partnership that you thought of?
Yeah, so I can address that. So Tentry actually, on their website, they actually show the types of trees that they plant in the different countries. I don't have that information for you, but by going to the Tentry's website, you can really find that. I know that they do plant like pine trees. They don't really focus on coffee trees, but they're more focusing on those natural trees that are in those ecosystems, so they can really build up those ecosystems back to its original state.
Great presentation. Thanks for all the work that you put into this. My question is in your marketing plan. So I get the digital marketing and in-store promotion piece. Can you talk me through a little bit about your idea for the pop-up shop?
Yeah.
And what sort of goals do you hope to achieve, what the shop is, and how that's going to help Starbucks?
Yeah, so personally, when I went to the Sweetery Festival 2 years ago, I actually managed to see a Starbucks pop-up shop of my own. And I was able to sample some great, refreshing cold drinks, and those were fantastic. So when I saw that, like, I'm not much of a Starbucks drinker myself, but I know that personally I was drawn to it, and while I was there, I was able to be really attracted to the ambience of it, as well as the friendly customer service that I received. So as you can see here, we have a sample blueprint of what this pop-up shop would look like when we add in the Zen Forest. So you have a tree collections on the top and the bottom, which would include a variety of native trees from Canada, which really highlights the beauty of Canadian nature. Next, we have some seasonal plants that further add to that. And in the left and the right, we have the normal pop-up shop areas where we can buy drinks, sample drinks, or buy apparel. The main highlight of this, though, is the mingling space in the middle. This is the main area where customers or anybody who walks into these events would be participating in activities, whether that be talking to someone or participating in any activities that Starbucks sets up during those pop-up shops. But the whole idea is that they are surrounded by nature. You have the trees on either end, and you have the seasonal plants in the corners, and you have the pop-up shops that is filled with friendly Starbucks staff who can tell you all about this partnership and provide quality customer service to these customers. So everywhere they are in this area, they're surrounded by this magical world, and the whole idea behind it is to really show them about how beautiful nature is and get them not just on board with this partnership because they like Starbucks, but because they really want to help identify better with Starbucks by helping to contribute to the environment.
Great, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Should be in there.
I know.
This one we will use all these. There you go. I'm going to try to get it now. Still on.
Thank you very much.
Test. Yep.
My sister said the same thing.
Wait, hold on.
Thank you.
For the guys, it's easy because they have the time.
Is it okay if I put it here?
Is that
It's
okay?
Just put yours and pull yours up just a little bit.
I have a bit of a loud voice anyway, so.
Test.
You're good.
Test.
Wait, and then we clip it on here. How do I like here?
Thank you.
All right.
Is this
Hello?
test?
Hello? I don't know. Can you hear me?
I don't know how.
Testing.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Testing.
Wait, okay. I know you had. Should I put it on my chest?
Or should I do that as well?
Test, 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 test. Okay. Got it. Yes. Wait, here? Okay, I'm not gonna do it that way.
Typically, when we think of the millennial mindset, we think lazy, technology-driven, and social media addicted. I mean, my mom is always telling me to get off my phone and go read a book.
But did you know that in the last year, Forbes magazine found that 80% of millennials reported reading a book in any format? I know, surprising, right? And it's actually more than every other generation. Now, what we find is whether you're 15 or you're 60, the millennial mindset is one of continuous learning and growth.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Wujie, and today my colleagues and I, Julia, Catalina, and Brett, are here to recommend a partnership with Starbucks that will increase the number of loyalty members on the loyalty app and guarantee an increase in the level of activity on the loyalty app. We recommend that Starbucks partner with Rakuten Kobo, or many of you know it as Kobo Inc. Throughout this presentation, we will go over the details of our recommendation, touch on how this partnership brings value to the millennial mindset, how Starbucks will be able to gain a larger market share, and how both companies share similar mission statements to develop a positive relationship. We will then move on to talk about how we plan to implement and market this partnership, and finally, touch on some challenges that may arise.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, Kobo is the largest ebook provider in Canada. It was created in 2009. It is an online platform that allows you to download digital books from their e-commerce store, their tablet, and their app, which is available on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Okay, so I'm going to be going over how the partnership would work through each company's independent apps, starting off with Starbucks. So as you can see, we have a prototype of how we would want the app to look, and the second bar shows how close users are until they receive a free preview, which is 15% of a total book. This is super beneficial for both users with an abundance of stars and also users who aren't as frequent of spenders because they have access to almost instant rewards. Moving on, these are the different categories that users are going to be able to see. So we have barista picks, bestsellers, and featured. Barista picks work a little bit differently in that they're totally free as long as you have your location services on and you're in a Starbucks store. Bestsellers are 15 stars and featured are 10, and you can download them anytime, anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. In addition to this, users are never going to get tired of what they're reading because books are updated monthly by Kobo. Moving on to Kobo's app, I'm going to give a little bit of brief background about how their loyalty program works. So $1 is equivalent to 10 super points, and 4,000 super points obtains the VIP member status. You can also obtain this status by paying $10 every year. As users are collecting points, the major benefit of being a VIP member is that they earn points twice as fast. So when they're collecting and users get to 2,000 super points, they have the opportunity to exchange it for a Starbucks Gold Rewards membership.
So next we're going to be talking about how our partnership actually adds value to the millennial mindset and why it's tailored to this physiographic segment. So as we said before, 80% of millennials reported reading a book over the last year. But more than this, Science Magazine actually found that the human neural system benefits more from instant rewards than delayed rewards. This is really interesting because most of loyalty programs are actually planned around delayed rewards. This is why we thought the best way to increase the tailored millennial mindset was to add this instant reward into our apps. So this instant reward is actually giving them the opportunity to continuously learn and giving them the opportunity, whether they have an abundance of stars or they lack stars, like Julia said, to actually see some of the benefits in this rewards program.
All right, so now I'm going to talk about Kobo as a company, specifically their stability and why they'd be a great fit for Starbucks. So as you can see, the revenue has been consistently growing over the past few years. This shows that they're a stable company. Also, you can see that the assets have continued to grow as well. And this is because they have been reinvesting in themselves, which means they're a company poised for growth in the future, making them an ideal partner for Starbucks. So now I'm going to talk about the ebook industry as a whole. So over the past 5 years, ebook sales have more than doubled, which shows that it is a growing market with a growing customer base. Also, Booknet.com stated that, according to Booknet.com, 85% of Canadians prefer audiobooks and ebooks during their leisure reading time. So what does all this mean? This provides a great opportunity for Starbucks to increase the number of customers using their loyalty rewards program. When looking at both companies' mission statements, it is evident that they share similar values. Kobo's mission is to empower book lovers to read more because they believe that reading will make the world a better place. Similarly, Starbucks' mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. They individually aim to create a community and develop a sense of belonging, prioritizing the customer experience over the products. This alignment of core values would bring life to a smooth partnership with minimal conflict. All right, so when we were designing our partnership, we wanted to hit on 3 key aspects. First, add value to the millennial mindset. We feel like we've done this by offering instant rewards as opposed to delayed rewards. Next, we wanted to increase the customer base. We feel like we've done this by increasing the loyalty towards Starbucks and tapping into the ebook market. And finally, we wanted to make sure that the companies had suitable cultures, or similar cultures, sorry. And we feel like we've done this by enhancing the customer experience and making the customers feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves. Now, no partnership can be successful without a proper implementation plan. The first step is to contact Kobo to discuss details and come to an agreement. This will set the basis and guideline for the partnership. In the medium term, it is imperative to complete the development of the added feature onto both apps and launch the updated app. Additionally, throughout the long term, constant data analysis must be going on to meet customer needs and debug any future issues that may emerge.
So now we're going to be going on to the marketing plan for our actual partnership. And so we designed this partnership as a lock-in strategy. So it's designed as a cycle to keep customers recurring between Kobo and Starbucks. So what we did was, whether you're already a spender at Kobo or you become one because of the previews that you're starting to see, once you start spending at Kobo, you'll start gaining super points. If you're a VIP member, in this case, you're gaining points twice the faster. Once you reach 2,000 super points, you actually become a Starbucks Gold member. So this gives you added benefits at Starbucks, and it'll actually pull people away from our competitors because now they have the added benefits of gaining stars and going and seeing that they can get free drinks, they'll have their birthday drinks, and as well they'll have deals like double star days. So once you have people going to Starbucks more often, we'll actually see that whether we have frequent spenders or infrequent spenders, that they'll want to value the instant rewards. Because if I have a lot of stars and I don't know what to do with them, I'll be able to start reading these free previews, as well as if I don't have many stars and I can't actually get to the next level or the next benefit, I can still see the benefit in redeeming these instant rewards. And so once you actually start reading these free previews, something might spike your interest and you'll be inclined to actually go back to Kobo and purchase this novel from them. So as you can see, this cycle will actually keep turning and keep customers spending in both Starbucks and Kobo. So next, we want to make sure that our consumers understand our partnership just as well as we do. So in order to do this, our marketing plan is crucial. For our Gold members, we want to send them a personalized email because they're our most loyal customers and we want them to feel special to us. As well, this will go into detail about the partnership, but they'll also get a notification to update their app once the new features are available. And of course, they're also going to get an added benefit when they join Kobo's membership program. Now for our Green members, similarly, they're going to get a mass email. They'll also receive the notification to update their app, and they will also receive an added benefit with Kobo. And for any new members, we're going to have heavy social media advertising because millennials are heavily influenced by social media. But as well, we want to have in-store marketing campaigns to draw people in, whether you're going once to Starbucks or you're going every day. We want this partnership to be fresh in all of our consumers' minds. As well, our actual app is going to be very easy to operate so that our consumers can understand how they can reap rewards from this partnership. Next, we're going to be going into the promotional strategies of each of these three segments. So for our Gold members, the added benefit that they're going to get when they sign up to Kobo's membership is that they're going to be able to vote now for barista picks. Why is this important? Because our Gold members actually have a local branch that they're usually attending to. And so this makes them feel like they're contributing to their community, and it gives them that sense of involvement as well. For our Green members, they're going to be rewarded with 100 super points, which gets them started on Kobo's app and starts showing them how they can reap rewards there. And then finally, for our new members, they're going to receive both 100 super points, but as well, they're going to receive 15 stars, which can actually get them to start seeing some of the rewards on the Starbucks app as well.
Okay, so some possible challenges that we could see with this partnership. First being that customers don't value ebooks over regular books. Now, if this was a situation, then we would provide more incentives to use these ebooks. And what that would look like would be more variety of books, discount days, and specials similar to double star days. Also, assuming barista picks aren't successful, meaning that baristas aren't offering enough recommendations to make the program work, then we would open up the picks to Gold members to make, and we would rename the collection Branch Picks.
So as you can see, there's a clear opportunity in the external environment, and we want to capitalize on it. We can see that these two companies share similar values. They add value to the millennial mindset, and of course, they'll increase their market share in each of their respective industries. This is why we believe that partnering Starbucks' inspiration with Kobo's knowledge is the perfect combination.
So the next time you think the millennial mindset is lazy, take another look. As you go to Starbucks and pick up a cup of coffee and maybe start reading a book, just remember how truly committed to lifelong learning the millennial mindset really is. Because ultimately, knowledge is the foundation for inspiration.
Thank you.
Great presentation, exciting and inspiring to think of everyone being lifelong learners. It's so important. I also really like the idea you had there about the barista picks. And I wondered if you thought a little bit about how would you get the baristas engaged in providing their picks, and how would you kind of get the staff overall involved in this program?
Yeah, for sure. So when we were looking into both of these the independent rewards program, so Starbucks rewards program as of right now, and as well the Kobo rewards program, we saw that their employees actually have added benefits on top, and a lot of their employees are, of course, they get benefits for being an employee, so they have their own memberships with these both of these companies. So when we add these two together, we can find that if we added barista picks and baristas got the chance to make their recommendations, we could give them some sort of incentive, like they gain more stars or more Kobo super points. This would kind of help them as well to reach like their goals, as they're also consumers of our brands. And so we want to help them out as well. And it would also kind of go back to that adding to the community so they feel like they're giving to their branch as well. And it can also help, like I know that Starbucks had a campaign where you could pick like Barista of the Week. You could go in and you could say like if a barista mentioned something or said something really nice to you, you could say this was my favorite barista, and you could put it into a jar and they would kind of say a Barista of the Week, I guess. And so in the future, we could say that from the branch picks, if there was a novel that was actually downloaded multiple times or people are very interested in it, or Kobo saw that a lot of people were buying it in that month, then that barista could be called out in their store, and it could be likewise like that to kind of incentivize them to also be giving in their recommendations.
Really great presentation. Thank you very much. And I'm just curious, do you think that the millennial mindset is more geared towards the ebook as opposed to the in-store, like an Indigo or Chapters type of environment? Just would love your POV on that.
So when we actually looked into this, we did see the market size of Kobo. So we saw that they have 26 million users worldwide, and Canada is one of their largest markets, and they're the leading ebook producer in Canada, so they're actually ahead of both Apple and Kindle. So that's really impressive for Canada. So they have 4.7 million ebooks sold. So they have a huge market share in Canada, and as we said before, 85% of Canadians actually value reading in their leisure time, either audiobooks or ebooks. So we see that it's kind of definitely a huge market, and it's something that's also untapped as people begin using their computers more, their iPhones more. It's something that we definitely think will be increasing in the future. As well, we saw that last year, the print books accounted for $166 million, and ebooks actually accounted for $188 million. So it's a growing market. It's actually more accounting for more sales in the book industry, I guess. As well, we kind of considered having alternatives in the stores of having actually physical copies of books or Kobos that people could read in the stores. However, this had a lot of risks, and that's why we added the barista picks, where people can still go in store and see it'll create foot traffic for Starbucks because people have to go in to get the access to the free barista picks, but it won't have the added risks of theft, high costs, and stuff like this that we considered with the other options.
Great answer, thank you. My other question is, currently we're experiencing, the gold level, the trepidation to get to that level, and it's a little bit confusing sometimes for customers. Do you think that the level of the points and adding a secondary level to the rewards program could add complexity, or do you think that there's a simplified way that we could communicate that? Would love your opinion on that.
We definitely think that we could simplify the fact that they're getting from a gold, going to a gold rewards membership by just little promotions on the apps, on the Kobo app or the Starbucks app. So, we can just put on the app, you need 50 stars until you obtain the gold rewards membership, or you need 100 super points until you have the opportunity to become a Starbucks gold rewards member. So we can just give little notifications, social media advertising, and also definitely through our marketing campaign, we want to educate the consumers on how, if you have X amount of super points, then you're so close to getting a gold rewards membership.
Thank you.
Nicely done, guys. Another different angle to partnerships and just a different brand than the other. So nicely done to you guys and everyone in the room, because those are 5 totally different approaches to partnerships and brands. So nicely done and thinking outside the box again. 2 questions. My first one is I'm not a Kobo user, but help me understand the value of previews and what your guys' perspective is on why you chose previews versus an actual book. I don't know, but I feel like other platforms like Apple, for example, may give free previews. So the idea of redeeming points for it, there could absolutely be value in it. Don't get me wrong, because the insight where that direction came from of a lot of people, it takes a long time to get to the $125 to earn a free coffee, so we want to give them something free along the way for a lot cheaper. That, as a loyalty nerd, that is the number one thing that I am looking for in a loyalty program. I'm not just saying a partnership, but just as a loyalty program. I don't want to make fun of air miles, but it's the opposite of that. Save your points for 43 years and then get something. This is, you can get stuff all the time to keep you engaged and coming back. So we'd love your guys' point of view on just why you guys chose previews. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but just why you chose that versus an actual full book, for example.
So we chose previews just because of the fact that if we did say that you could get a full book, that might decrease the sales on the Kobo side. So we said 15% of a book, because also when you're reading a book, usually the first 1 to 3 chapters that hook you as a reader. And so if you do get the 15% and you manage to complete all 3 chapters, you would be more inclined to go to Kobo, make a purchase there, and complete the cycle.
Nice. Good answer. And yeah, my second question would be around just marketing. I think you guys touched on, there's 3 different tiers, I'm trying to remember back. A lot of it was email and digital, and then a little bit of Starbucks in-store driven marketing, which is all absolutely cool. Is there anything else Kobo could bring to the table that you guys have thought of? Again, acknowledging you guys haven't talked to Kobo, but anything that they could offer up? Like if we're offering out the in-store presence, what else could they give us, or give the partnership, I should say?
Yeah.
So maybe if we can flip. So this is something that Kobo has on their platform. It's called Kobo Writing Life. So it's basically a platform where Kobo users are able to, or Kobo members are able to become their own authors. So this kind of ties into their customer experience side. So we kind of thought of a possible marketing, a social media marketing thing before launching the actual partnership. And this would be something along the lines of coming up with a story by using select hashtags and sending that towards a Starbucks branch. And then you could go into the Starbucks store, make a purchase, show them what you wrote, and then they'd additionally add on 2 stars. And this would maybe be just for 2 weeks to a month to show new customers what's to come, and also in pique the interest of existing users.
Cool. Thank you.
Great job. My question is, do you think there's any confusion or pain points for customers when you're merging 2 different and distinct loyalty programs? And how would you mitigate the confusion between merging those 2 loyalty programs?
So we definitely were worried about kind of anything being confusing, and when we looked at a lot of other partnerships and other loyalty programs that we find for ourselves confusing, we kind of saw what were the cons in those partnerships. So what we found was that if we actually merged our the 2 companies and the 2 rewards programs and created some sort of conversion rate, it might become very hard for consumers to comprehend how many stars they have, how many points they have, what they can actually redeem. It would become very confusing for the consumer in that sense. And also, if you have a conversion rate between the 2 platforms, we found that it would be, it could actually be detrimental to one of the 2 companies, because you could be purchasing, let's say, just ebooks and then just go to Starbucks and get free drinks because of that conversion rate. So we wanted to take away that risk. And so what we did instead was we said, if you get this certain amount of points, you can actually get the Starbucks membership. And then in the Starbucks membership, you'll get the free previews. So it kind of goes back to that cycle and the way that both companies are actually going to benefit from each other. And it's going to be very easy, because since we're not creating a joint platform where it might be harder for people to understand where the 2 kind of separate, I guess. On each of their own platforms, on the online websites and on their apps, you'll be able to see, so on Kobo's app, you'll be able to see you're this close to becoming a Starbucks Gold member, and then likewise on Starbucks' app, you'll be able to see you're this close to getting a free preview, or you can get a free preview because you're in the store, and that would kind of mitigate that confusion.
Actually, I would like to double click on something that you just said, that I could theoretically get a Starbucks Gold membership or Gold level without actually having bought any coffee from Starbucks, simply by buying, I think it was 2,000 points worth of stuff from Kobo. Starbucks typically would monetize or would use the purchase of coffee to fund that rewards tier. So how do you propose that Starbucks could actually benefit from Kobo giving away this Gold reward tier to Kobo customers?
So that kind of goes back to the points that each of these companies actually has. So Starbucks, I believe it's 300 stars to become a Gold member. So that would be $150 because it's 2 stars per dollar. And then likewise, so we're giving the opportunity for Kobo members, it's $2,000. Well, it's 2,000 points, sorry, which is $200 because one of their dollars is 10 points. So it's a little bit more expensive for a Kobo user to actually become a Starbucks member. But the added benefit, as well as VIP members at Kobo, they get stars twice as fast. So if you're a VIP member at Kobo, you actually can get it in $100 at Kobo. And once you have this membership, you're going to want to benefit from the actual stars. And in order to get the free previews to get books at Kobo, where like you might be like, oh, I don't know if I'm actually going to like this book, you're going to have to get stars at Starbucks. So it incentivizes people to go back to Starbucks and actually be purchasing their products as well.
Perfect. Thank you, and thank you for your presentation. Great job.
Thank you. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that one. Why don't you take your thing? Indigo. I was going to. She's got that fast, man. I'm doing that.
How do I?
Just no.
I just need to click out of this, right? And then.
All right. I think it would be
I don't
safe
know.
to say that
Okay, you do
the
it.
5 teams have made the judges' jobs very, very difficult. What we're going to do now is I'd like everyone to just stay seated for a second so that we can get the judges out first. And then there are some treats for you outside that you can use to pass the time with. As soon as the judges have made a decision, we will come downstairs and signal you all to come back in so we can make an announcement and recognize the ranking of the winners that are here. See you in a little while.
Check one.
All right. You guys made the judges' work a little bit difficult. We had to negotiate. We practically had to get down to arm wrestling. So that's a good thing. That's a congratulations to all of you, including the semifinalists. So we'll come back to that. But before we announce what the outcome is today, the first thing I want to do is acknowledge the fact that today wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for some very, very, very important individuals that supported this activity, that supported this project, and made it happen. And so we'll start with Sean Cameron. Sean is one of those super alumni that come back and constantly are giving and trying to find ways to make your experiences better as students and to support your learning. And so I really, really appreciate the fact that Sean brought this case, because, I mean, working on Costco is a heck of a lot more fun than working on Starbucks, rather, is a heck of a lot more fun than working on a crane company, for example, right? And I'm speaking to those folks that would have done ice cases on crane companies. Starbucks and Ryan, did I spell your name wrong? No. Starbucks and Ryan Haggerty. Let's give them a big round of applause. Because this would not have been possible if Ryan wasn't willing to give up his time. And I mean, the poor man got married during this whole thing, you know, honeymoon, and being distracted while Sophie's harassing him, going, "Can we talk a little bit more about this case?" And he's like, "Seriously, Soph." So it was the sponsorship that Starbucks provided, and their time and effort and willingness to engage. And Jen's time as well, being willing to step away from her family or private time to come and be here with us. And along with Jen, all of the finals judges, Wendy and Nick as well, being willing to come here and to share of your knowledge and engage with these students and ask some challenging questions, but in good ways to extend their learning. Matthew Donovan and Michael Ross, where are you? There they are. They're in the booth back there. Co-authors on this case, a lot of fun to work with, and saved my sanity in working together with you. It was awesome. Perry, where is my Perry? For those of you who may not know her, Perry Rickers is our head TA. Perry Rickers, in addition to kind of keeping the logistical magic working smoothly, keeps me sane, keeps me on track, and takes care of all of the details. And so the fact that I'm even coherent today can be attributed to Perry's involvement and calm collectedness that has pulled us through all of this. So thank you, Perry, for that. TA alumni who came yesterday to support us and to sit on the semi-final judging panels. They come back time and time again and give of their time, and I hope you found yesterday's experience as valuable as they found it. Current TAs, round of applause for this superstar team. What's incredible about them is the vested interest. You'd think they're the ones that are up here doing this. It means so much to them to hear them talk about all of you, to hear them how positive they are, how impressed they are, how encouraging and supportive they are. Your success is their intrinsic reward for everything that they do. And they invest a lot of time and effort in all of you because they believe in all of you and want to see you do well. And so they're invaluable to making the presentations today possible. Emma, where's Emma? Is she here? There she is. Emma Twells, who took care of all sorts of things, including double-booked rooms and other chaos that's occurred over this last little while, but was a fair bit of the magic behind making all of this run smoothly as well. So thank you to all of you. And now at this point, I want to remind you what's at stake here. What's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Or are you just impressed? All right. I mean each person. I don't mean each team, right? Yeah. The finance guy is going, what? All right, but before we announce the final results, I would like to invite Starbucks up here to say a few words to you.
Thank you. This is much easier than at the live Q&A when I had to brace for your guys' questions. So thank you, guys. Thank you for everything today. I think I want to start out by saying I remember back to how nervous I was when I stood up here the first time in front of the live Q&A, and to acknowledge how nervous you guys probably felt, the presenters. You guys did a heck of a job. You guys stood up here confidently. You guys addressed all of our questions with an appendix slide supporting a random question that we came up with sitting there. So well done, guys. That was amazing. You all deserve a round of applause, which we'll give you afterwards. My next point, I called it out earlier, but I don't think you guys realize the extent of the ideas that you guys just came up with. Every single one of those were different in so many different ways. There was a B2C play, a B2B play, a CPG, a social responsibility play. They were all completely different. So to acknowledge you guys all got the same business case and the same story and came up with those 5 different ideas, that's amazing. So nicely done. Good. And again, I said it before, but way to think outside of the box. I wish there was more people in the business world that did that. So continue to do that. There was one other thing I wanted to say. I made a list just sitting there. So I think my parting note would be keep an eye on what we do from a Starbucks perspective. Not to say we're going to, I wish it was as easy as taking these 5 ideas and just presenting them to our president and saying these are what we want to do, but it won't be. But keep an eye on what we do. So even if we don't implement those ideas per se, look for the consistencies in what we're implementing from Starbucks, either Starbucks Enterprise or a Starbucks Rewards perspective, and I guarantee you will find some consistencies in the recommendation that you guys put forward. So keep an eye on what we're doing, and thank you for all the great ideas. You definitely had my mind going in the right direction, working with all the caffeine I've had today. So thank you, guys. But Sophie, over to you. Thanks, guys.
I don't know if Jen, do you want to come up as well? All right. Just by way of information, what we will be doing is actually sharing the semifinalists, all of the semifinalist presentations as well with Starbucks. They've heard about the great quality that we saw in semifinals, and so they want to see that as well. So if nothing else reinforces to you that regardless of where you might have landed, where you're sitting in the room today, you all accomplished something incredible. And the fact that some of you, how many of you are 17 still? Yeah, there's a lot of 17-year-olds in here. Isn't that phenomenal? Yeah.
One more comment. I wish you guys could see some of the presentations that we receive in the corporate world and could compare to what you guys just did. Honestly, and I'm not just saying that. What you guys presented to it today and the style and the confidence and the way that you guys rehearsed it, it blows a lot of the presentations that we see in the corporate world out of the water. So keep doing what you're doing. Sorry, I had to get that out.
All right. So congratulations to all the finalists and semifinalists, and here we go. Okay. Now, as I said, it was a very, very difficult decision, and I know the 2 teams that didn't place in the top 3 that's not what they wanted, but I still want you to know that you were incredible. You know, we had a tough time coming to this decision. They had a tough time coming to this decision. So appreciate your success, relish in your success, celebrate your success tonight, all right? But you have an accounting exam tomorrow, right? So not for too long. All right, and so the 2 finalist teams are Kobo and Waze. Come on down. Please come down to receive your certificates.
Nicely done, man. Nicely done. Thanks for your ideas. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, Arlen. Nicely done, man. Good confidence. Nicely done, man. Nicely done, buddy.
Just because I might forget to tell you this later, we will be taking team photos at the front as well, outside in the atrium. So don't disappear. Your TAs will want to take photos with you, and we'll grab a couple of photos outside, okay? All right, ready? Third place. 10 trees. You guys are smart enough to do the math the minute I announce second place, but we're gonna announce second place, and then we're gonna give first place their chance to come up and be acknowledged as well. So, second place, Costco. All right. And could I have the first place team come up, please? 10,000 coffees. All right, go ahead and have a seat. All right, thank you again to everyone who contributed to making today a success. Semi-finalists, make sure to find your TAs in order to receive your certificates. Don't leave without getting them. Again, celebrate your success. The 5 finalist teams, make sure that we get a picture with your TA outside. So don't leave until we get a picture with your TA. All right, you have lots to celebrate. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.